Hey,
Hey.
so it's tomorrow now?
Yeah. Well, it's Monday.
A weekend just happened.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I left.
Yeah, that's how nights and weekends feel here.
Like nothing.
Hey there, Audis. How's the weather outside? Welcome to the Severed YouTube floor. Let me introduce you to what we do here. We're offering the most wonderful job opportunity to separate your work self from your regular self. Not knowing what you do throughout those 8 hours, leaving after work and not having even a thought or a worry about your office colleagues' drama or other nonsense. Doesn't it sound nice?
Nice, 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 nice.
I am a person. You are not.
But have you ever thought about what life would be for you that is trapped forever at work? Forever just trapped there? No weekends, no rest, no outside world, not even memories of who you were.
I don't know.
Unknown. Question 3.
Not even...
To the best of your memory, what is or was the color of your mother's eyes?
Yeah, Severance is an existential nightmare with weird liminal spaces and some of the most solid TV writing in the past few years. And all of this was produced by Ben Stiller? Wait, the Ben Stiller? This guy. This guy produced this. Okay, well, weird contrast, but let's talk about Severance. To give a bit of an overview, Severance is a show that follows Mark, an office worker who has undergone a strange severance operation. This separates his work memory and outside memory by sort of a wall, and while Mark works at the special severance floor, he only has access to his, well, work memories.
I just can't watch you leave.
What it means in reality is that while Mark knows how to brief, what work is in general, and what office hours are, all other influences and information from the outside world is just simply locked. No recollection if you have family members. Hell, these people don't even know what the world outside actually looks like.
Think about it. Okay, if our Audis are up there severing their brains, shit must have gotten pretty bad. Famine, plagues, etc. So what is a desperate humanity to do?
So basically they function like blank slates. Adults that can be controlled like children, with like waffle parties and other nonsense. Mark is not our main protagonist. Well, not on the inside. We see the outside world only through Mark's eyes, and then juxtapose his actions on the Severance floor. Here, we mostly focus on Haley, who is a new member of the Data Refinery Squad.
Helly. I've been at Lumon for like 10 hours total.
A 4-person team that does something. Not clear what, but it seems really important. Haley abso-fucking-lutely doesn't want to be here, and throughout her first season does everything to escape this place. Can't blame her. The whole story focuses on finding out just what the hell is even happening on this floor, or with Lumon in general, and also kind of like merging the two beings together, the innie and outie, to form a new being. Alright, what's more interesting to me is exploring the show themes and ideas, so let me show you around.
One of us gets named Refiner of the Quarter, and that shit gets you a waffle party.
I'm sorry, a waffle party?
So we start with Mark crying in the car. Yeah, he's probably not having the best time of his life, right? And as we soon find out, there's a reason for it. Mark's wife died in a car accident. After a bit of crying, it's off to work, but his office isn't the same as yours. The procedure to even get in seems quite, weird and extensive for a simple office. But the real star is the elevator ride. Yeah, it's magnificent. And I like the fact that it doesn't use any CGI or over-the-top effects. No, just a simple Vertigo style zoom in, and since the focal point changes, the way the characters look on the screen, well, changes just slightly. Pair that with stellar acting and the way the characters portray themselves, and you get like, just such a cool effect. Even without knowing anything that's happening, you immediately go, are these different characters now? Well, it also helps that Mark starts crying in the car and being depressed, and once here, he's cheerful and acts a bit like an asshole.
Wow, that went right to 10. I feel like ripping out my germ-ridden larynx would get you sicker than just me breathing on you.
And of course, we meet our office mama.
Little guy.
Hi, kids. What's for dinner?
God damn it, Irv, we warned you.
About the greeting? You were kidding.
No.
Okay, let's go back a bit. That walk to the office was weird, right? Not because it's over a minute long, but like how many turns Mark takes. It feels like he basically got back to the same location. Yes, it establishes the slow burning tone and allows us to better look at how this innie Mark looks and acts. But it also sort of works like a backroom or liminal space setup. If you know backrooms, this will look very familiar, even from these first shots. Also, a few people have gone over and made the entire map from this scene. I leave some links below, but based on that, yeah, it's kind of a weird layout. So one of the biggest theories about this is that it's done sort of to confuse everyone and turn this into more of a maze, right, where different departments are close physically but are hard to reach just by walking. And when we add the fact that these office workers probably have no idea what an actual office looks like, yeah, they just roll with it. However, there might be a more direct path, but Mark could just not want to go there and stall for time. You know, like the way you walk slower near your office, being like, ah shit, here we go again. It's kind of the beauty of Severance. Each scene can hide so many details or just be a cool thing. But that just sparks discussions and theories, which is what you want in any mystery TV shows. Looking at you, Westworld Season 2, you stupid motherfucker. You might notice that the entire show, I mean Severance floor, follows one main principle. Using minimalistic backgrounds or details or props, focusing on simple, mostly practical effects, allowing just the oddity of it all to do the, well, heavy lifting, without too much use of cheap CGI. The whole show seems to be trying to have a constant liminal look or uncanny valley look. Everything resembles the real world outside this monitor screen, but it also feels somewhat non-human, somehow wrong. A liminal look on its own is an interesting human feature, isn't it? It's a middle point between the holy shit, need to get out of here instinct and chill dude, everything is okay feeling. So watching this, the you that is actually watching might look at most locations and just, well, see locations, while your subconsciousness is just going haywire. And that's the trick of this feeling. And also I like that it's not relegated to just Lumon or just the Severance floor, but even the outside world can't really shake this liminal feeling. I mean, Lumon, liminal, come on, you get the point. Look, I don't usually get favorite actors. I mean, there are some I like Nicolas Cage, but even then, I mostly go for his crazier movies. Adam Carolla might have become one of my faves. I mean, after The Good Place and now this, he's a perfect actor for this kind of role, basically. being able to seemingly switch between this offbeat office mode.
In the recycling, please, everybody, don't do that. Oh, as a reminder, Post-it notes are not to be put on faces. They clog your Audi's pores.
That one's about me. I do this beloved character, Sticky Head.
And nearly completely depressed personality.
I just want to let you know, I'm not going to reintegrate, you know.
And here's another but. If I'm fair, Mark isn't special because nearly everyone here brings their A game. First, Milchick is terrifyingly friendly. He just oozes disdain for office workers here.
Can I help you?
Does she have a moment?
Did you fill out an official request for supervisory interaction?
I mean, it might remind you of a mix of a few colleagues you know. Also, my god, but does Patricia Arquette plays her role perfectly.
I just keep thinking about those damn bins.
She's kind just enough to get under your skin, but also she's brutally cold and calculating.
Here, chosen one, here.
Just seeing her play with Mark, having leverage over him, knowing way too much, it's just a wonder to see.
It was very painful for me. I hope that you'll let it help you.
I also really like Dylan and his arc. He starts like a goofy office idiot, being super competitive, yet also friendly.
Oh God, a 4.
Don't fuck around. I told you, you'll understand when you see it, so just be patient.
As the show progresses, though, this feeling builds up in him. Family. You see, well, I can't be absolutely sure, but I think no other office worker has a family. I mean, in terms of having children. So this starts to grind on his gears and builds up with questions. And then there is the breakage point, where we see something really weird.
I've awoken you at home. I need to know where you put it.
The management can activate the Severance state even outside, which wasn't what we were told. As the show stated,
I will be unable to access outside recollections whilst on Lumon's severed basement floor, nor retain work memories upon my ascent.
Yeah, only on the Severance floor should the any state exist, right? But this means that there are way more control over our characters that we initially believed. The problem with Dylan is he realizes that he actually has children.
Daddy!
What the fuck?
We told you to count to 1,000 and wait outside.
Is that my kid?
End it.
So yikes, imagine going back to the same dreadful office, but now this thought etched into your mind, constantly pushing on you. What is my child's name?
Get him off me! Get him off me! He's biting me!
Dylan, what the hell?
On the Severance floor, love can also blossom. But no, not from the characters you might think of. Oh, no. Here, Christopher motherfucking Walkins brings his A game and sprouts some realistic romance with Irvin. Even though we see only a bit of Walker's character, his tame yet somewhat passionate demeanor just plays out so nicely. Since Walking's character works in a different department, well, that's sort of forbidden. Office romance and all that stuff, I guess.
I have to go.
Even though he retires from Lumon at the end of season 1, might be of his own accord or with instructions from the management, we don't know, right? But I would like to see him more in the second season. Overall, there's a lot of build-up tension between the two departments. Well, the two that we actually see in the show.
Optics and design. Back with that refinement.
Throughout the series, it seems like all of this conflict was intentionally planned, or Lumon is creating these false conflicts so that each department wouldn't communicate with another. But even then, what's the point for Lumon? And if you really don't want them communicating, like, just separate them completely? So one thought that I had. Like the fact that we are underground and we don't see Lumon change anything structurally, they might not have built this place. Sometimes it can feel infinite. Actually, you know what? A crazy idea, but I might think it is infinite. Maybe even connecting all other Lumon locations around the globe, each elevator taking you to the same Severance floor. It's just so large that there's no way to meet your colleagues from the UK. Think something similar to the backrooms. And you know, maybe this isn't even a man-made place. Maybe they discovered some weird anomaly plane where they could just build an office, and the only people that can work with that raw info are basically blank slates without any real-world influences. Like, I mean, look at the goat department.
They're not ready. You can't take them yet, they're not ready.
It feels like such a random room in such a random place. If you're in full control of how you can build and where, why not make it an actual place for animals? Again, this whole theory is like really far stretch. Some sort of yoga pose shit.
Go!
A keen explorer of the Severance floor might notice that there are a lot of things related to water. The water tank outside, the log of Lumon with a drop in it. The case files are all related to cities with water facilities or dams in them. Our fellow Innie saying this?
My theory? The sea.
And the foodless dinner with only water. We can actually bring more. In Irvin's interview, it's mentioned that his Audi appreciates water.
Your Audi values water.
There are a lot of shots of water in the season, and Haley is seen drinking from the tap, not the cooler. A simple detail, or is there something in the water? I saw some people saying that only Irvin drinks from the cooler, and that would sort of explain why he is the only one of the four having such an investment in Kier ideology.
If it's a deeper meaning she craves, she should see the perpetuity wing.
She can read about all that stuff in the handbook.
You know it's different to be there, to see it.
This and all of this is, I don't know, it might be a thing, but I don't really see how messing with water facilities connects to classifying scary numbers or making the same product over and over. Like, if the job is actually important and they're doing something, why would an 80% failure rate be okay? Especially with the management. Again, all of these are just theories. The water might not be of that importance. But in a show that is so good, I would say that it will play a big role in the second season. Okay, this is a perfect time to return back to the work that our main protagonists do, data refinery. And the main question is, what the hell is this? But the second biggest question is the job actually important? Are they doing something there? And the biggest issue I have with theories about the work actually being like super important is the fact that there can only be 4 data refiners, and only 4. You know, just as there are 4 principles of Kier, Woe, Fralic, Dead, and Malice, or 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You know what? Just choose any 4 you want.
Come now, children of my industry, and know the children of my blood.
Whoa. So pair this up with 80% failure rate, and if the job was actually refining, improving, or decoding something, why not hire 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 refiners, right? I mean, if nearly 80% of all files end up with failure, why is this accepted? Well, as the management would say here, hey, shut up. But in all seriousness, this can be explained by insane requirements. Maybe there are only so many people with skills needed, and maybe these people, including Mark, did not randomly come to work at Lumon. Maybe they have been led here by, well, probably evil forces. Maybe even grown to be here or to be a specific type of person. So first, in the job description for this position, it's mentioned that people working here need to have strong intuition and high emotional intelligence. Why would you need to have strong emotional intelligence? Well, these fine lads and the lady needs to look at numbers and pick a bunch of them that look scary.
Boom. Fucking refined.
All right, Helly. Hip hip.
They were scary. The numbers were scary.
Well, look isn't the right word here. It's more like pick a sequence that feels scary. And that sequence can be placed in any of the 4 categories or principles.
So, Cat 1 numbers, for example, feel a certain way on sight. They'll be sort of disconcerting, scary.
Scary.
I know.
So I think there is some sort of personal connection between the data and the person that's refining it. The thing is, Haley hasn't been told about other categories, so her job might be collecting one single emotion, one single sequence. Or maybe if you can turn an image, a video, an audio file into basically raw numbers and show it to someone, maybe they can somehow see just the numbers and determine that the video is bad, scary, a bad thing happening in it. This would connect more to the emotional side and emotional requirements of the job. Another way of looking at their work is to think of it as just, well, busy work, a distraction, repetitive task to monitor the state of the severance. Again, there's too much emphasis on the specific jobs being completed, and the whole severance state as well as this location doesn't match the vibe. If you want to test whether the severance thingy might break or how it works, why not pick random people who will go through experiments for cash and just throw them through some wild gauntlets? And if you're testing integrations to the real world, why would you make this place so unreal in most ways? Like, imagine if your coworker started acting like this. Ah, the break room. That's such a good idea in execution. Well, you all probably have a break room in your work, or at least seen one, right? You get what they are. So when a break room is mentioned in an office environment, you don't really think about it. Just go, oh, a break room. But soon you understand that it's not a break room. It's the break room where you are broken.
Shall their stain live on? I am thankful to have been caught, my fall cut short by those with wizened hands.
All I can be is sorry, and that is all I am.
Again.
Really?
They of course can't do anything to harm you physically, so they bend the character's will by forcing them to repeat the same sentence, engraving it into their minds. And there isn't a set of numbers or time for this. The show takes away even a simple character's control. You don't mean it. You're going to repeat it until we say that you mean it.
I'm afraid you still don't mean it.
Whether it's 10 or 10,000 times. And the visuals with music does wonders here, blasting the words on the characters' faces, further solidifying the covert brainwashing aspect of all of this. Now, you might think, holy shit, this is hell for Innis. Remember that.
Well, every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back.
Yeah, every day you end up here, well, it's because your Audi, or in other words, you, chose to come back. No one is forcing you back, and yet you're here once more.
I'm making this video roughly 2 hours before it will be shown to me. I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure colloquially known as severance.
So what you're actually fighting is yourself, and no one can technically intervene, so you're kinda stuck in cyclical hell. And to be fair, if you wake up in a strange office and are told that you can't leave and you have to work here for the rest of your life, you probably would try to do anything to escape. And again, Haley truly does try a lot of wild things.
Do I look like I'm fucking around right now?
No, you do not.
Ellie?
The show has another antidote. Well, sort of. If you leave the Severance floor, you, a different entity that was technically born a few days ago, well, will cease to exist. You can escape.
Plus, yeah.
What?
Well, since this perceptual version of you only exists at Lumon, and quitting would effectively end your life. I mean, in so much as you've come to know it.
This kind of puts a bigger net on all of this. Yeah, it's hell down here, always working, but is just ending it all better? Alright, humor is pure gold here.
I do think the old photos are supposed to stay on the desk until the new ones come in.
Mostly because it's simplistically stupid, while always carrying this uneasy feeling.
From a campus cop against college, what the fuck are you wearing?
I was doing some private research.
What's that a euphemism for?
Like, take this dance party. It's super weird. Sort of looking like your office gathering. But at the same time, you go just, what's happening here? Another part of the humor is actually Mark's brother-in-law, who is just a dumb person.
Do you think he'll be surprised?
I do.
My babe, I'm going to put it off to the side.
Awesome.
Don't get me wrong, not in a bad way. He's just the type of person that if you spend 5 minutes with them, you will go, oh wow, he's such a nice man. Also, can he shut the F up? But he is also a part of the big story. Well, not him personally. His book. It's a self-help type of book. And it is what you could call cringe philosophy. That's one of the best contrasts of the show. His words to us feel empty, lame. We've seen them so many times. We've heard those things so many times from everyone who's trying to pretend that they know shit.
Our job is to taste free air. Your so-called boss may own the clock that taunts you from the wall, but
my friends, the hour is yours.
But to Mark and others inside the Severance floor, these words feel empowering. They never experienced this positive you go get them attitude.
It's recognizing a common struggle in another person and reaching out to offer them a loving hand.
Well, we should move to the end of the season. And whoa there. It's revealed that Mark's wife is actually alive. Yeah, so she did not die in the car accident like we were told, and she was supposed to be dead, but she's working for Lumon? Is she doing that on her own will? Is she a robot? Does she remember Mark? Or is the situation the same for her? Also the question, did the car accident happen? Also a question, did the Severance bring her back from the dead? Some people might think that, but it's a chip in person's brain. I do believe it can save you from certain diseases by restarting your body or in certain situations, but I think a car accident would leave more permanent scars, right? At least some. And there isn't any allude to the fact that Lumon can fix bodies or heal people up. This world doesn't seem to have tech so advanced that it could reconstruct people. However, we didn't see the car accident, and we don't know any info how severe it was, right? This also can be kind of planned all along by Lumon. Maybe his wife was placed by Lumon from the very start, or maybe she was in a coma. So there are a lot of maybes here, and we're leaving on this quite interesting note, and I really hope that season 2 gives us actually solid answers here. Okay, so my current theory is that they're trying to recreate either Keir Egan's brain or a brain just like in general. Basically, if they're working on refining the exact data or exact proportions that would make the original Kier's brain, they might try to recreate it, rebirth it, find a second genius. Again, why only 4 is the question that still lingers. The whole Severance floor in maps and its purpose seems to be representing human brains, getting raw data and then processing it based on emotions. Doesn't it sound like part of our brain? If this department is focused on refining raw data into feelings or emotions, let's say how our brain communicates with our eyes, maybe other ones are for motoric skills, speech, any other parts of the brain. They also might not want to recreate Kier's brain, but just decode human consciousness. Think about it in this way. Why would you need to have people who are severed from all outside religious, politician, or social ideas or movements? Even if you are a balanced, open person, the way your parents raised you plays a major role in how you see the world. What if you have a blank slate and then show it raw data? Couldn't it basically translate emotions into mathematical equations? And then every single department has its own brain function, recreation idea or goal. Again, this is quite a stretch. And based on how this whole company acts more like a cult, I would probably lean more on them trying to rebirth Kier or do something with his brain or his image in some way or another.
Outer hallways anymore till we hit quota. So, no more interdepartmental visits!
Are you serious?
Okay, our exploration of the Severance floor is coming to an end, and the season finishes with our innies being able to escape, cause a lot of havoc, and then sadly being turned off, allowing the real characters to come back out. But each of them is now set in quite a difficult position. Mark finds out that his wife is alive, and he's screaming that she is alive. Will he remember what he was talking about? Will he be able to make the connections? Will other people be able to make the connections? The same can be said with Haley, who just made a huge speech about how Severance program is actually like bad. But she also could be like, ta-da, this was all a show. The Severance program is super duper great. You should try it. What about Dylan? His Audi is currently on the ground being tackled by Milchick.
Come on, man! I want to remember my fucking kid being born!
You have 2 others. I can tell you about them.
He will see the inside of the Severance floor while being an Audi. So will they let him leave? What happens in the outie state when you're in the Severance floor? Irvin is probably in the easiest solution. He drove around and found the house of Christopher Walken's character and is knocking on the door like, let me in, let me in. So when he switches back, he could just say, sorry mate, I've got the wrong house. And that would be it. Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of different ways season 2 can go, which gives me hope. But also there's a large chance of it being weaker or the twist being something too simplistic. Like if it's all just so that evil higher-ups could upload their brains and live forever, I don't know, that would be kind of lame. We see the super rich and corporations using something to live forever trope like so many times. Like I think we did all the stories that we could do with that. It's getting boring. I would really like to have a more complex or interesting plot point than just evil rich people. But to be fair, the show did a great job throughout this first season to show that, yeah, it's not just a simple story. So fingers crossed and waiting for season 2 to disprove all of these theories. Now I'll be fair, Severance is not a perfect show. Few things in life are. My main issue or concern is that the end leaves a lot of unanswered things, and for a basically 9-hour-long TV season, a few more concrete things would make waiting for season 2 easier. I really don't know what second season is even going to be about. Like, it's such a weird position to end. Are we going to follow innies, outies? It feels like the second season will need to be very different to, make everything come together. That might be a good thing. But you know how shows, even the good ones, usually tend to not stick the landing. So the longer the show goes, the bigger the chance gets to, it being cancelled, people moving to another project, or just like simply creativity running out. And sure, we're getting a season 2 of Severance. But if it's also a build-up to the 3rd season, oh well, that kind of makes the show feel a bit pointless, especially this type of mystery show. Sure, the journey is still great, but if you know there is no end or no answers, well, I don't know, should you spend your time? Another more simpler issue is that it can feel a bit like too slow sometimes. Sure, most of the lingering shots are done to create atmosphere and put you into a certain mood. But there are a few places where you just want to say, okay, I get it. I get the general concept. I get it. Can we please move on? I think it has to do something with prestige TV being like correlated to hour-long episodes. So no matter if you have more or less material, you're trying to manipulate it into like a 1 hour frame. Severance isn't as bad with it as some other shows, let's be fair. I'll maybe cover the bad ones in another video. Apart from unanswered questions and slower parts, I think you will definitely enjoy Severance, especially if you're into weird shit like I am. Alright, thanks for watching the video. I was planning to make it 10 minutes long and it's just, I can't stop editing it. Okay, leave your Severance theories and opinions in the comments. If you like this whole nonsense, this exploration or whatever, liking, subscribing, sharing actually helps a lot because I have like probably 2 views and 1 is from my mom. But whatever. Other than that, I'll see you all crunchy critters in the next video. Cue the dance party.